The baby you are carrying has multiple brain defects, resulting in several structural abnormalities. The piece of the brain that connects the left and right hemisphere is missing, and the surface is significantly malformed, as well as severely underdeveloped. Where brain mass and tissue should have grown and been plentiful, only large pockets of empty space and gaping holes exist. Your unborn daughter will lack the physical coordination to suck, swallow, feed, walk, talk, or know her environment. She will most likely have ongoing seizures 70% of the time, and that's best case scenario. If you carry your baby to term, you will need to have a resuscitation order in place prior to giving birth, as your child will be incapable of living without significant medical assistance. She most likely will seize to death upon delivery without immediate intervention. And no amount of surgery, medicine, or physical therapy will be able to reverse, improve, or fix this diagnosis. These were the words my husband and I were devastatingly told at 31 weeks into my pregnancy a little over 3 years ago. Prior to receiving this shocking news, I had been happily pregnant and anxiously awaiting the arrival of our second child. For nearly 8 months, I had been loving my baby in utero, writing in her journal, and explaining to our then 2.5-year-old son that he was going to become a big brother. Never, ever did I imagine I would need to have an abortion, and certainly not one so late in my pregnancy. After consulting with multiple doctors and genetic counselors, and after carefully weighing our options, we made the heartbreaking decision to terminate the pregnancy. We did not want our daughter to exist because of machines, where she would never run or laugh or play or dance or sing or interact with me, her mommy, or her daddy, or her big brother Nate, or her dog Misty. We did not want to bring a child into this world that would only be here in a vegetative state, if at all. As much as we loved and wanted our daughter, we didn't want her existence to be one of constant suffering. I was stunned to learn, after receiving our diagnosis, just how limited my ability to receive abortion care was. It never occurred to me that a fetal anomaly would exist in our baby, and that it would go undetected despite all the prenatal care I received until so late in my pregnancy. But the harsh reality is that a diagnosis like mine couldn't have occurred and was impossible to confirm until much, much later than 20 weeks, because brain development happens well into the 3rd trimester. Under the 20-week ban in place in many states, women in my shoes will have no option but to carry a pregnancy to term that will result in a baby very likely to die upon birth. Forcing women to proceed under these circumstances puts not only their physical health at risk, but their mental and emotional well-being as well. The week I had to endure between learning our diagnosis and when I could begin the termination process was agonizing. Every movement of my baby, movement that had brought me so much joy, now just brought unbearable heartache. There really aren't words strong enough to describe the anguish I went through during those days. Every minute felt like an eternity until I could finally end her pain. To force women and their families to endure this trauma for weeks or even months and give birth because of abortion restrictions, it's reprehensible. I am deeply, deeply grateful to NARAL and the men and women just a generation before mine, many of whom are in the room this evening, who fought for decades to gain abortion rights. Your support of the pro-choice movement made it possible for me to have a choice for what was right for my family, for my body, and for my unborn baby. And now it is my generation and the ones that follow that need to raise their voices, become involved, and actively join this fight.